You are listening to the Jura Synchro podcast with Tiia and Ria.
Hello everyone and welcome to Jura Synchro podcast. So today we are having a guest from Switzerland. She's a person who skated in Nexxice for a few years. And I think she's a person that everyone did spot on the ice. So today our guest Nadine Banholzer. Welcome Nadine.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How are you? How has the COVID situation been in your country? How have you been coping?
I mean, it was strange, but now we're just living with it and keep going, making the best out of it.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds good.
Yeah. So let's get started. Could you tell us a little bit about your skating career? Where did you start, as a single skater or synchro skater?
Well, I started skating at the local skating club in my hometown, which was like a 5 or 10 minute walk away from where I lived, so very nearby. And I went through the learn to skate levels and eventually was allowed to join the Cool Dreams novice team. I also did a little bit of single skating during that time, but quickly learned that synchro was or is my discipline, so I focused on that. And in the beginning, we actually didn't have a covered rink, so we would train outdoors and were very dependent on the weather and the temperatures. So the season maybe lasted from October, November until maybe March, so very quick. And that changed when I moved up to junior, and then a new rink was finally built. And I was on junior for about 6 years. And we didn't have a senior team back then, so we formed a new senior team. And I was on that senior team for 3 years. And then after the third year, I did have the opportunity and moved to Canada and skated for Nexxice. And I originally planned to only go for a year. But obviously my plan changed and I stayed another and another and another. So yeah, that's how it went. And now I am back in Switzerland since the pandemic started, and I'm a head coach of Cool Dreams Junior.
Perfect.
Wow, what a story.
Yeah. For how long did you skate in Nexxice?
Well, 3 years, 3 full years. And then last year was my 4th year.
Okay. Was it always your dream to skate abroad?
I mean, it crossed my mind every now and then, but it wasn't a plan of mine. I guess my dream just always was to be part of a top world-class team and maybe see what my potential as a skater is, or how good of a skater I can be or become, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. Mm-hmm. How did you decide to apply for Nexxice, and how did the process go?
After participating at Worlds in Hamilton with Cool Dreams from Switzerland, a friend and I actually signed up for their annual camp, and I was just amazed with everything, their skating, their finesse, their ambition, and I somehow just couldn't let go. And I've talked to a few girls talked to us, and then after some months when I was back in Switzerland, I decided to finally reach out to the head coach Shelley, and I asked a few questions and they went back and forth, and eventually I got a spot, and that's how it was for me. So I already been there, I skated with them, so they saw me. So my tryout process was a little different than normally.
Hey, tell us about the camp. What kind is it? Can anyone participate, or what is it?
Yeah, it's very cool. It's an international camp that they offer every year, and it has different courses that we go through, skills, through synchro stuff. You have off-ice classes, and everyone from every level, or almost every level, can participate. I guess there's an age, well, younger skaters or older skaters, so you are in different groups, and yeah, you can experience what we do, what we train, and how we train, and it's really great. I really enjoyed it every time, and the skaters also are part of it. So senior skaters are part of the squad basically on the ice.
Wow, that must have been a very good motivator to skaters to come and skate in Nexxice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. So, how was skating in Nexxice like? How did it differ from Cool Dreams, Switzerland?
I mean, there are lots of differences in some ways, but I guess the main thing was definitely that we had more ice time, and because of that, we had more time to work on skills and basics and build your skating foundation, which is a big part of the Nexxice organization.
Yeah.
Did you feel like more professional to skate in Nexxice, or?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And anyways, it was more evolved around skating. So my life was packed with skating, and here in Switzerland, not as much, but also due to the practice hours, of course.
Yeah, we know what you mean. I think we had the same here in Finland, that everything is built around the skating, and everything else is another thing.
Yeah. Well, were you surprised that it's so packed around the skating, or did you know that it was going to be like that when you would go skating in Nexxice?
Yeah, I expected that it would be more. I just didn't expect it to be so much more, but I quickly got used to it. For me, it was also the traveling to the rinks. Here, I could pack my bag and walk to the ice rink. And there I traveled between, well, it depended where I lived, but traveled between 1 or 2 hours to practices. So,
that's a long time
to
travel to practice. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, what would you say were the hardest parts when you moved to another country to skate?
I mean, being by yourself, not knowing anyone, and the whole unexpected, or you don't know what to expect, you don't know how everything will turn out. It's kind of like going on a treasure hunt without a clear map in some way, but also exciting.
So you had only skating in Canada? Did you go studying or working?
Yeah, I worked a little bit, but first of all, because I was only planning to go for a year, my plan was just to focus on skating, and then eventually, with me staying for some more years, I worked next to skating as well.
Okay, yeah.
You mentioned earlier the basic skating skills, that you have more time for those, and I think everyone knows Nexxice for their amazing skating skills. So how often did you practice those?
It was part of every day's practice. We really did it at every practice, and they also taught us why and how to, and they gave us a really, really good understanding how to use our body, our blade, our weight, which we could then apply to the programs, but it was part of every practice.
Oh wow, that's interesting to hear.
Yeah.
A little bit different that we had in our career in Margot Desinity, because off season we trained the basics, but then during the season we only did basically the programs and practiced those, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it was maybe once a week we might have like a half an hour time to do some, but very, very small amount.
A little bit different.
But we can really see in your skating that you practice it every training.
Jura Synchro Podcast.
What about when you went to Nexxice from, so to speak, from a lower team? Did you feel that you lost your confidence, or did you feel that you were, as a skater, confident when you went to Nexxice to try new and go to a top level team?
I wasn't that confident in the beginning. I mean, I was confident because I knew how it was to skate on a senior level, but not on that level. And I wasn't confident with my skills and the control that I had the way I skated. but I just had to focus on lots of things and learn new things. And it was a learning process throughout all the years I was there. So yeah, it was a journey.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Did you get any extra support in the beginning?
Yeah, maybe more corrections than other skaters. But then it's up to the skaters to go and train and develop as skaters. Yes. So yeah, or then take extra lessons maybe with some former skaters, or just go on the ice with your new teammates, and everyone's really ambitious and supportive. So that's also something, but it was up to you and you had to work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned that extra lessons with former skaters. What does that mean?
Well, not lessons in that sense, but just to go on the ice. I mean, there's so many ice rinks all over Canada, or I feel like there's so many ice rinks because we don't have that many here. So you would just book some ice time or go on an ice, and then bring a teammate, and yeah, they can show you, they can help you improve, they can correct you. So that's something we did every now and then.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That sounds very nice.
Yeah.
I think we didn't have the time to do that because we were all the time skating with the team or doing trainings.
But I think that's a good point. If you want to develop by yourself, why not book an ice rink and take a few friends with you? Yeah, that sounds good. Mm-hmm. And I think you said that it was a learning process for you all the time, but we all know, watching from outside, that you're a very talented skater. Mm-hmm. So we want to know, why did they decide to highlight you in the Widow program?
Well, thank you, first of all. And I'm actually not quite sure. I guess that's something you'd have to ask the choreographer or my former coach. I don't really know.
What would be your most best memories in skating?
There are so many. I could not pick one, but generally just being on this great journey, which I am still on, is just great and amazing. I mean, I've experienced so much from being a novice skater, or even with the Learn and Skate program. You find friends, you have so many different experiences that you can actually share with your teammates and friends. And I think that's just something that's amazing. That not many other people have, that are not in this synchro world and synchro community. So I'm very grateful for that, but I couldn't pick a favorite one.
Yeah, we know the struggle.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
But it is true what you said, that the skating community and all the friends with you, that is the most important thing. And I think for us too, it's what kept us with the sport.
So, what skills did you learn during your skating career? Like teamworking skills, something that you can use in your work life today?
Yeah, again, I don't even know where to start because there's so many as well. But I guess just to name a few things, for sure, to be ambitious and brave and not to give up so easily, how to deal with ups and downs, not only with skating, but also in your life, and how to successfully work with a team. And I guess athletes in general, they have a very strong work ethic, and you have to have a long attention span. And yeah, the list goes on and on. I'm sure you can all relate.
Yes, we can.
Of course we can.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You mentioned earlier that you're now coaching the Cool Dreams junior team. Why did you decide to continue with the sport as a coach?
Yes, correct. It's definitely the love for the sport and just wanting to pass on the great things I had the opportunity to learn, and share my experience and just work with or around ambitious human beings. And at the moment, I also couldn't imagine my life without skating. So that's a big part of my life, and I guess will hopefully always be.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Usually it feels so easy to go to the coaching after the career is over, because you can still be on the ice rink and enjoy the ice with all the skaters.
Do you have some goals as a coach? Do you just want to continue with the sport for a long time?
Yes, for now I don't really know. I wanna build something up. I want to evolve. I want to develop as a coach myself, and just what I mentioned before, pass on what I've learned and see what I can do with that.
Perfect.
And let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about the time when you decided to quit skating, quit your career. Was it something that was on your mind for a long time, or was it hard? How did it come to your mind?
No, it wasn't on my mind, and I feel like it's still not on my mind. It's always hard to end something you love and enjoy doing, and I never really had a clear cut. But I guess now, again, with the pandemic and everything, it's been a little smoother. So no one else was able to skate. The season ended for everyone the same way, and everything was uncertain. And then I took on this task, which made me very busy as well. So maybe I'll wake up once life is normal again. But for now I'm doing okay with what I'm doing right now. And I really enjoy coaching.
Well, what do you think, if the COVID pandemic would have not come, would you still be skating in Nexxice? A hard question.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that come into play. I mean, it's the money, it's a visa, and everything else. So I don't really know. I can't really answer the question.
Yeah,
But quitting the career is very hard for everyone, and we know it was very hard, but I think me and Tiia had in our minds for a long time that we're going to quit. Maybe it was somehow a little bit easier then, because I think the COVID pandemic would have been a very stressful time to quit skating, because
and the uncertainty, and you don't know what happens next, and
maybe some dreams would not have been
achieved. Yeah, for sure. And you said that you now, as a coach, want to give to the skaters something that you have learned. What are those skills? What are you teaching your skaters at the moment?
Yeah, very good question. I mean, I'm also trying to start with basics. It's a new team as well. They didn't exist. We had a break last year, so there was no junior team, and now they're newly formed as well with skaters from other clubs. So just to get everyone on the same level and everyone having the same understanding of the skating and what we do, and focus on details, having patience and the repetition and so on. So I want to build something up.
So do you have only the junior team, or do you work with also the younger teams?
No, at the moment I just have junior, and I also had adults and senior B, basically. That were the three teams that I was the head coach of.
Am I correct that you had a coach from Finland when you were skating in Switzerland?
Yes, correct. That was Evelina Lundman, and she came when we formed the senior team. So that was very cool as well, to have someone from another country coach us and then build this new senior team.
Is she working nowadays with you, or?
No, she's working with another club through like all the levels, novice, junior and senior.
It would have been fun if you had been coaching with her, because she's been your coach when you were younger.
Yes, we did some sessions together and stuff, and we're still in contact. Obviously, Switzerland is a very small country, so we are in some ways working together.
So for the ending, could you please tell us, what advice would you tell to a skater who would like to skate abroad in another team?
Just work hard and follow your dreams. You don't want to ask yourself the question, what if? So just go for it and just do it.
Well, we would like to have this or that in the end of the interview.
So we have like 5 questions for you, and just pick another one. We give you 2 options. Don't think too much, just go with the flow.
All right. So, the Widow program or Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah. Now I would say the Widow.
Yeah.
Tim Hortons or Starbucks?
Starbucks.
Lifter or the person lifted?
Oh, that's a hard one. Maybe now lifted. Before I used to lift and I was a little scared being up in the air, but it's actually quite nice.
Group lift or death spiral?
Death spiral, because of the tension between the 2 skaters and the speed.
Annie's edges or spins?
Annie's edges, definitely, because that's what made me the skater I am today.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Nadine.
Thank you. And it's great what you're doing. I really love that. I love that you're involved and that you came up with this new thing. It's amazing.
Yeah, and as we spoke earlier, like the skating community, you still want to be in it somehow. Some as a coach and some as a podcast host.
Yeah. So this is our way.
Yes.
And it's lovely to meet all you different skaters around the world.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Nadine.
Thank you too. Thank you very much.
And for all you guys there, thank you so much for listening us. And remember to stay tuned, as in our next episode we will have a physical therapist assistant and we will talk, for example, about injuries.
Yes, very interesting topic. And we will say goodbye.
Bye, see you next time.
Find out more Jura Synchro podcasts on your YouTube channel, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. The musical theme of this show was created by Scatmix.pro and Carl Hugo.